time. Oh, won't it be a time? Oh, won't it be a time? Oh, talking with the angels. Won't it be a time? If you know it, you can help me. Say it one more time. I'll say, won't it be a time? Oh, won't it be?
Shalom, saints, and blessings to you all in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Welcome to a very special episode of Un-Apologetics. India is the largest country in the world by population. Indeed, with a population of 1.46 billion people, India is home to a staggering 18% of the human species, a figure which, I hasten to point out, is greater than 1/6. It is home to thousands of ethnic groups and hundreds of distinct languages, and very well may be the oldest continuous human civilization ever. There are scholars who claim pottery from Bharana dated to 7,000 BC, which of course stands for before calendars. That's 5,000 years before Abraham, for those who are wondering. And while that date is certainly arguable, especially amongst us Christians, the mere fact that India's culture is ancient is certainly well established, I dare say. All of this is well and good for a fact sheet regarding the Indian nation, but it creates a unique set of challenges for a Christian minister in the country. These ministers are tasked with evangelizing over 1/6 of the entire human race and are met with a culture deeply entrenched in a pagan ideology entirely separated from our own religious foundations. When a man witnesses to a Muslim or a Mormon or a Jew, such a man witnesses to someone of a monotheistic tradition, an adherent to the Abrahamic heritage, at least by claim, and a person who, again, at least by claim, has similar scriptures, similar prophets, and even claims to have a similar God. Major asterisk on that last part, but asterisk on it all. The Indian faces an entirely different religious tradition, with many gods unheard of in the West, separate scriptures you've likely got no reference for, and rituals and practices that would seem entirely foreign to Christians in America. The Indian minister also faces challenges of an apostolic variety. What I mean here is that Indian Christians face serious persecution, and whether that be in the form of anti-conversion laws or radical young men attacking churches and congregants, the Indian minister faces challenges which, again, are entirely foreign to a modern American. My guest this morning does not need any lectures in this regard, because he lives it. He faithfully gives the gospel despite trials and tribulations, and so bad can such trials get that he will actually be remaining anonymous today. In this interview, we have redacted his name, face, and any personal information, and have altered his voice so as to keep him and his congregation safe. If you guys are having trouble understanding any of this, note we do have subtitles at the bottom. Please make liberal use of them. It is with this courage and faithfulness, and the courage and faithfulness of all Indian ministers faithful in the gospel, that we introduced our guest today. Shalom, Pastor.
Hi.
And how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I am doing quite well, thank you. I want to thank you, first of all, for having this conversation with us today. I know that this is probably a first for you. It's a first for me in terms of an in-person interview. Yeah. Before we get to this stuff that's probably on everybody's mind, you know, that being off screen here, I'm sure is already in and of itself eliciting questions, but I want to try and get to know as much of you as we can before we move forward into that. So how did you end up becoming a Christian despite the challenges Christians face?
Yeah, I should go long back. In 1947, my grandfather is not a Christian, but one of the American missionaries came to India and shared the gospel. Through his gospel, he came to faith. Through my grandfather, my father got saved. Through my father, I got saved in 1997. Then I came to ministry full-time as a minister in 2011.
So then you have been in India witnessing for, it sounds like 15 years now?
Yes.
And initially, was it always this challenging there, or has it gotten worse over time, better over time?
I think it's getting worse as I see the situation. Before it was like, I never thought where I'm living, I would get the hardships. But even the place where I'm staying now, it's getting harder every day. So the churches are attacked, houses are burned, people are attacked. So it's happening every day. As I see one of the surveys, every day we have 50 attacks in India, somewhere in India.
50 attacks, that is incredible. I will put a pin in that for a moment because I want to get back to that, but just to give us, our audience, a little bit more of an understanding, what is some of the religious demographics in India?
We have many religions in India. Hinduism is the main. We have 80% of the population is Hinduism. And we have Jainism, Sikhism, Buddhism, the birthplace for all these four religions. And Christianity we have like 2.3%, and Muslims are like 11%. Mainly we have, I think even though we have 6 major religions, and we have caste system, and every caste has a different god. There are different gods, and everything is a god. We have 2.3 billion gods in India. So even though we cannot say in one word, it's everything is a god, it's hard to say in one word. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what is, because I imagine it might be a little bit different than what our audience imagines. What is the Hindu concept of a god?
Concept of God is like, it's a karma, the way you're born. So they believe in reincarnation. So the way you do the deeds now, when the reincarnation happens, if you do good deeds, you will become a nice person, a nice god. If you do bad deeds, you'll become like an animal or cat, anything. So that is one of the reasons they cannot always say one god that they can save them. They have always a problem that they don't believe one god. They go all around gods, and it's hard to believe in one god for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with something I think that should allow us to build forward into the main purposes. What is the nature of religious liberty in India, at least in law?
We have laws in India. You have freedom of speech, according to bylaws, according to constitution. You can go and preach in different states. But few states, I think, in 12 states, I think we got anti-conversion bill. But we have altogether 28 states. In 12 states, we have anti-conversion bill. But other states, you can go and preach the gospel, share the gospel, do anything. But when I go and reach the gospel, they come on me and attack me with a stick, with the vote. And if I go to the law and file a case, they say we'll take the action, but it never happens.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned those anti-conversion laws. What is that?
Anti-conversion, it happened in 12 states. So now you cannot share the gospel in public, and you cannot preach the gospel in public. You cannot conduct crusades in the public. Even somebody want to convert, let's say for example, you have a church, and somebody wants to convert in your church, you go to the higher authority and take a letter from them, and it goes step by step. Then you have to take this paper like you are taking baptism, and it takes forever. And because of the anti-conversion bill, it never happens. If you go against the law, they'll keep you in jail. What this anti-conversion law is doing is, even though pastors are very safe and like calm and quiet, this giving the opportunity for the opposition to file a case and keep the pastor in jail without any cause. Just anyone can go and complain to the station that he shared the gospel. Anyone complain, give the complaint in the station, they'll right away they have the right to come and arrest us and keep in the jail.
So it sounds like something that could be potentially easy to get trapped in. I remember you saying a little bit about the people sometimes will deliberately try to trap ministers. Is that right?
Yeah. The main reason they want to keep you in jail. Yeah, they want to make you fear that you won't share the gospel.
And if you don't mind me asking, how do these traps tend to work?
I think many times it works very well, because even the government and the cops, everybody is mainly in the major religion. They work together, and they want to their slogan is to bring the Hindu nation back again. That is the reason when something happens, even the small thing, it's not a big issue, you can leave it, but when you caught with a small thing from Christianity, somehow they want to give you a hard time and keep you in jail.
Okay. Yeah. That actually leads to another interesting question, I think, that would be beneficial for us in context. You mentioned the slogan of trying to bring the Hindu nation back, and interestingly enough, there are parallels even here in terms of Christian nationalist groups here in America. exactly does the bringing the Hindu nation back entail? And can you tell us a little bit about Hindu nationalism?
Okay. I don't know about politicians or government what they're thinking about it, but we have a lot of Hindu priests, Hindu youth guys. They want to change the constitution. That is a slogan. Maybe they are speaking to the government. We don't know exactly, but the Hindu priests, mainly Hindu like Brahmins and the top caste people and a lot of main people, they want to change the constitution because every country has their own religion. That is the reason we want a Hindu constitution. Only Hindus can live here. That is the slogan they want to bring. Whether we don't know whether it works or not.
So you mentioned a little bit. We talked a little bit about these anti-conversion laws, but it seems to me like the main persecution actually comes from population. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What are some of the challenges faced by ministers in regards to witnessing to? I know you mentioned them a little bit, but you said you go to a village and you just get met with violence initially. Tell us a little bit more about that.
We usually before even in the place where I'm living, we don't have anti-conversion bill.
Okay.
We can go and share the gospel and share the ministry. Not a lot of times we are going to house, give the tracts, and when you give the tracts, before they used to take the tracts, but now when you give the tract, they want to attack us. Why are you coming to our house? We have enough God. We don't need your God. We have enough God, and they will attack us. Even we go and complain in the station, nothing will happen. So we have right to do it. We born there, our birth is there. We have right to speech, right to talk, right to religion. But when we go and distribute and preach the gospel, in some places, I'm not speaking everywhere. In some places, when we go and do these things, because now what we are facing mainly is because of the Hindu culture, a lot of Hindu youth radicals, they're getting a lot of money through this. Speak a lot about anti-Christianity. So we want to bring our Hindu nation. We want to raise our Hindu slogans. Youth has to stand forward. So these young guys making like YouTubers, mainly YouTubers in India, they're making a lot of money like raising slogans. We are Hindus. You don't change your mother. If you change your religion, you're changing your mother. So these people are starting YouTube in every town, and they're getting a lot of money. So whenever somebody, Christians go and give a tract, they want to attack. It's like asking some question. We have enough gods. Why are you coming? Even they beat you, they will kill you, they do anything, but nothing will happen to you. So no safety for us.
And you mentioned there had been probably about 50 incidents a day in
I got one of the surveys,
off the top of my head, I don't know if this math is perfect, but that's got to be over 1,700, right? It seems like. So how often do those get actually violent, and how often does that violence escalate into something even further?
I think there'll be killing will be there, attacks will be there, and mainly we have seen like in some places, I think 3 years back in state of Manipur, there are 400 churches burned, and maybe 1,000 people ran away for their life. Nothing came in media, nothing happened in media. But because they cut the power, they got the media. We say in India, Manipur and Nagaland, 2 states are Christian states. So Manipur is one of the biggest states. It has old churches from long years, but they want to destroy that nature, and they want to make people that Christianity is not safe in Manipur also. So sometimes there are a lot of, I think around 400 people killed on that time. Maybe like they had 6-month attack. They ran for life, and there are almost like, I don't know exact number, but many churches were destroyed. More than 400 churches were destroyed. Big churches, very well-known churches, and I think even the Christian women ran away naked. They ran away around the village. They made it like a tribal fight, but really it's not tribal fight. It's a fight between Christianity and other religion, different country, the major religion.
Shalom, Saints. So if you're enjoying this video, first of all, I just want to say thank you. Please remember to like and share this video, and consider subscribing to the channel if you have not done so. I greatly enjoy making these videos for you, and I pray that you have been edified by this content, and that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is glorified through this content. Now, as many of you know, I would like to be doing this kind of journalistic and scholarly work vocationally. That means full-time. And in order to do that, I need help from viewers like you. So I would like to ask for your financial contributions. If any of you are able, please do consider giving to the synagogue today. Now, we have a variety of different ways that you can do that, my friends. First of all, if you are watching this live, you can give in the form of super chats, super stickers, and super thanks. Remember, we do read all comments and answer all questions at the end of our programs if you decide to give in that way. But also, I want you guys to be reminded of the fact that we do have a Patreon. And on that Patreon, for $5 monthly, you can join our Tea Party tier. Now, what is that? The Tea Party tier gives you access to my video blog, Breakfast Tea, which we post every other Saturday. That's bi-weekly. And we go into detail on numerous apologetic, theological, and different topics that have to do with our faith, with Jesus Christ, with the scripture, and so on and so forth. We've gotten a lot of good content over there. There's a couple of you guys who are already giving. I appreciate you guys very much. And this is kind of like a little bit of my thank you to you as well, right? Some of you guys are simply giving. I understand that, and I greatly appreciate that. But also, I understand that a lot of people would actually like to get a little something extra for their contribution. So if you'd like to support the work that we're doing here on the synagogue, but would like to get something for your support, please do consider giving down there on the Patreon. Again, it's $5 monthly to join our Tea Party tier. You will get access to the Breakfast Tea video blog, wherein I read my own blog entries for you guys on camera in a manner rather similar to Blog and Mayblog over there at Canon Press. You could also give a one-time donation to the PayPal if you'd like to do that instead. I know some people don't want to commit themselves to a subscription. And we do have a book, 15 Questions for Calvinists Answered, if you would like to have a one-time donation, but still would like to have something more tangible for your contribution. We appreciate that as well. Friends, we are trying to get you the very best in Christian apologetic and theological content. And when you contribute to this kind of work, you help us not only to be incentivized to do this, to know that we're actually making an impact in the Christian world, but on top of that, you make it easier for us to do so, because that means I don't have to take time away from the work that we do here on YouTube. Rather, I can dedicate it all to you. To those of you who are already supporting, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys have been awesome. And to those who are going to support again, thank you very much. God bless you in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Back to the program. So, another thing I'd like to kind of cover here a little bit, because I think there's probably two challenges here, right? And you can, of course, correct me if I'm wrong. The challenge of persecution, but also the challenge of what is really an entirely foreign system to Christianity. I mentioned in the monologue here, right? If you, to talk to a Muslim is to talk to a monotheist who at least claims certain things that we might claim. Hinduism is not that way. So, what are some of the challenges to witnessing to a Hindu person who is willing to hear? Like, what does counter-Hindu evangelism look like?
Yeah, mainly in Hinduism, they believe in many gods. And when you come to Christianity, it's one God. And in Hinduism, they believe in karma, and we believe in grace. That changes everything, because the deeds you do, you'll become like that. When you come to grace, we share the gospel that there is only one God who came for you. There is no one in the world as a God coming down as a human, dying for us. It's only grace. It's not about your karma. How the life previous, it doesn't matter. If you don't have reincarnation, you won't reborn again. You have one God. If you come to Him, He will save you. By His grace, through faith, you will be saved. That's what the gospel we give them. It's a simple gospel, but sometimes it takes time. Because before anything we share with the Hindus or any religion, we have to talk about the cons and consequences. What is the religion is, what all happened to the religion, why it's not right. So we have to talk about that, then we should share the gospel. Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you like to hint on when we're talking about, or hit on, excuse me, when talking about why Hinduism would not be right in this regard?
Because Hinduism, they have many gods, and number one, morally they are not right because of their character, because of the way they talked, because the way they fought. Morally, it's not right because they fought for themselves. As a god, you have to work for people. As a king has to work for people. When you see these gods, morally means like they are bad in character, a lot of times bad in situation. So when you compare to Christ, He's holy. he has no sin. So that is the one thing we can say with the people.
And what are some of the unique, Paul talks about the unique stumbling blocks for the Roman and the Greek and so on. I believe he said that it was the power was the unique stumbling block for the Latins, and I can't recall what he said for the Greeks. Might have been wisdom, but I'm not sure. What are some unique stumbling blocks you tend to find witnessing in India?
Mainly caste system. So that's the main system because you are born into it. Even though I became a preacher, evangelist, the place where I'm living, if I tell the place where I'm living, they know my caste, where I came from. Sometimes if I don't know the place, if I tell them my last name, they don't know my last name. My last name, they know my caste. So caste sometimes it's a big hindrance to share the gospel to a lot of people.
And can I ask a little bit more about that too? Because one of the things that surprised me quite a bit, and I think would surprise a lot in our audience, is I think the common perception in America is that the caste system doesn't exist anymore. That doesn't seem to be the case. So first off, how has this managed to survive despite the fact that it seems as if people have just granted it doesn't exist? And secondly, what are some of the details of what exactly that entails?
I will tell you before how it started. The Hinduism believes that there is a god called Brahma. From Brahma's tongue, they create the Brahmins, the high caste. They are the leaders, they are the judges, they are everything. Then later, Kshatriyas are the power. They are the ones who rule the country. They have a lot of power, and they have they are the people. And Vaishyas, they are the ones who rule the nation. They rule the businesses and everything. And Shudras are the ones who are untouchables. They came from the low caste. So the caste divides India, and finally, because of caste system, we cannot reach people. So this caste is like a lot of people say it's not there, but I think every day, somewhere in India, some bad thing happened to the low caste people. It will never come in media because all the media and all the newspaper, everything was covered by the high caste people. Even, let's say, for example, few months back, in one of the states, one girl went to the temple, and she doesn't know that it's a high caste temple. So she went to the temple and she was worshipping in the temple, and by the time the high caste people came and she dragged her in the air, she has having a baby in the womb, in the hand. So she dragged her, when they dragged her out of the temple, the baby died. Because she's from high caste, she's from low caste, went to the high caste, they dragged her hair, and when they dragged her, the baby fell down and baby died.
So where does this perception come from that the caste system doesn't exist anymore?
Because all the rulers are in power, they are the high caste, those are dominating country. I think especially we have Brahmins in the top caste. They're only 2.3. Many believe that they are the one who brought the caste system. 2.3 in India out of 4.7 billion people. So they rule the country. They have the businesses, they have the hierarchy, and they have the judges, they have the lawyers. They are the nation. They rule the nation. So Hinduism in their hand, and caste system in their hand, power in their hand, politicals are in their hand, so they rule the nation.
And I imagine that probably means there's a lot of influence from Brahmins and priests, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to pivot just for a moment here into something that I think will kind of help people understand a little bit about what exactly the issues here are. So there are numerous other groups there that you mentioned: Sikhs, Buddhists, Muslims, even Jains. The persecution doesn't tend to come from them, if I understand correctly. Is that right?
I think only for us with the Hinduism, all Muslims, Jains, Sikhs, and we are all good friends. Because Hindus attack all the people, all the religions. Mainly they focus on Christianity and Muslims. In some places, Christianity and Muslims, we go along very well as friends. When something happened to my believers or my church, they will come and support us. And when something happened to their friends, we'll go and support them. We stand together, fight for justice. We don't do any quarrels, we don't fight, but we fight for justice. We just stand there, like do the one-day strike and say, do justice for us.
Does that create any potential pitfalls in witnessing to them?
No, I think it won't. Even we share the gospel, Muslims are very open to hear the gospel, even Jains and Sikhs. But it's hard to change Buddhist people. It's very hard because they don't believe in a God, one God, so it's hard to change the Buddhists.
And so the reason I asked that is just to say 80% of the population is Hindu, and the government seems to be very influenced by Hindu nationalism and by priests, and that also happens to be the one that is most persecutory. Now, I mentioned here 18% of the human population is in that nation. 80% of that 18 is difficult to reach by virtue of these circumstances. How urgent is it that we get the gospel into India given these circumstances?
Yeah, my vision is because of this humorous number, a lot of numbers. My vision is to train pastors, like 1 year training and 2 years training. We have almost like according to Joshua project, still we need to reach more than 2,000 people's groups. So my vision is to train every day, maybe like 30, 40 people, sent to the places where gospel is not reached, so that they can go and share the gospel and reach the people. Because we have only in 22 languages, we have many languages in India, but we have Bible in only 22 languages. Other languages we have to share by the word. We have to learn their language and share the gospel in their own language. It takes time, but we are working on it.
So let's talk a little bit about that. You mentioned there were 22 major languages, 22 major languages, and there is Bibles in all 22?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Now, my understanding is that there is over 700 languages in India generally, right?
Yeah.
How difficult is it to get people scriptures in their language?
It's very hard. I think in India we have Bible Society of India. They're trying to work in different languages. It's very hard because we work with the people not reached. When you don't have Bible, it's hard to reach, hard to preach because they cannot read, they cannot pray. And so what all we say, they believe it. So even our people are trying to change into their language, like simple, not like whole Bible, like the Gospel of John or 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, make it in their language. Because even though they have different language, that is the reason. So we go to the language, we write in our language, but they can read in their language. So that we can translate some of the verses so that they can memorize, they can remember. So it's hard, it takes time, but God is in work.
Absolutely. Yeah. What is the risk you have of syncretism in India? And to explain a little bit about what I mean by that, it's pretty common in the West for groups to merge culture with Christianity. And sometimes, of course, no harm, no foul, but sometimes you end up getting something quite demonic or pagan into the religion. Is there a major threat of that in India, of Christians adopting Hindu practices that they really shouldn't be adopting?
That is one of the bad things happening in Christianity, because even Hindu priests says that thing. They say that you say Christian, but you do all things like Hindu. You say you are converted, but you have taken all the Hindu culture to your church. So the main thing is, as I want to tell you is, number one is we have some feast, like 40 days feast in Hindu, one of the Hindu festival. They do 40 days, they won't drink, they won't smoke, they don't touch wives. They cook for themselves, live themselves. So they brought that into Christian churches. Even they want to wear only white, they wear different dress, and our people want to wear white dress and no sandals. So they 40 days they go to temple, they worship Mary, and they come back. On 40 days they are holy and they'll cook themselves. So it became a tradition brought to the church. Not only that, even the marriage, we say we are one in Christ. There's no Jew, no Gentile, but when you come to church, when you come to the marriage, even though you're a Christian, you want to marry the same caste. Even when some high caste people come to the church, not everybody, some people want to dominate the lower caste people. So they brought, even though they're Christians, even though they're baptized and taking Lord's Supper, even the character, the talk, sometimes even the action that they do is not changed.
It almost reminds me a little bit of Acts 15, right, with the Pharisees. I'm sure everybody's got to face that to some extent, right? Now, so I have an interesting hypothetical I want to pose real quick before I get into this, just because it's something I've been asking people recently. I'm going to change the question a little bit from how I ask those people, because it typically regards like the Shaolin Temple, and that's of course China. Hypothetically, if you were to have a Hindu temple and all the Brahmins and congregants there converted genuinely to the gospel, they remove the idols, they remove all that kind of stuff, and they turn it, rather than take the temple down, they turn it into a church. Is that something that you would support, reject? How would you feel about that?
I never heard about it, even one time. Maybe I think one time I heard that temple turned to church. I don't, somewhere in North India, I don't know, but it's happened. I don't think it'll happen every time, because Hindu nation, because a lot of people out there, they want to make a Hindu temple, they want to build more temples, not taking away. So,
Shalom, Saints. Did you know I actually got a couple different places where you can see me do work that is not necessarily related to what we do here on the synagogue? That is right, my friends. If you go and look at the description down below, you will find links to 2 other channels that I run on this website. The first one being the Synagogue News, where I talk politics and news. Over there we talk a lot about stuff that is related to faith, but ultimately is not faith itself. And if you're interested in some of my own conservative content, please do consider checking that channel out as well. We're only at about 95 subs at the moment. We definitely want to get that skyrocketing up. I greatly appreciate anybody who is going to help us with that. Also, if you're into music, fun fact, I actually make hip-hop music. I am a rap artist, if I do say so myself, and I do. And if you're interested in that sort of music, we do actually have a link in the description down below to my Polymathis YouTube channel, where I rap under the stage name Dai Sensei. Please do consider subscribing over there, give a like and a share. We greatly appreciate anybody who is checking out our work there as well. Also, I have written a philosophy paper. It is called On the Deity of Deception Argument, subtitled Why Dr. Tim Stratton's DOD Argument Fails. If you would like to read that, it is free on academia.edu, provided you already have an account. That is the first edition. We're currently working on a second edition, but if you'd like to read the first edition, at least let us know what your thoughts are about it in the comment section of any of my videos. I greatly appreciate your guys' feedback in that regard as well. I also want to announce a couple things that are coming for the CJ Cox team here. Number one, I am going to be launching a 4th channel titled Hysterios, and Hysterios is going to be a history channel. A lot of the history channels we have out here on YouTube are good, but just kind of poppy and not in-depth enough. Other ones are absolutely fantastic. I don't mean to demean everybody who is doing history content here on YouTube, but as some of you may know, I am actually soon to be a professional historian, and at the moment, currently a lay historian. So I wanted to launch my own history channel. Again, it is called Hysterios. Links are going to start being provided in the description to that, and if the Lord wills and tarries, we will be launching that channel in April. I don't know how often we'll be posting to that, because it's a lot more in-depth in terms of the study. All the videos are going to be edited, and it's just going to be a little bit more difficult. But if you're interested in that, link is going to be provided in the description down below for that. And another thing I want to announce for you guys, friends, I am soon to be publishing, Lord willing, my 2nd book, one that you guys have been eagerly looking forward to, at least many of you. O Night Divine, When Was Christ Born? Again, that is O Night Divine, When Was Christ Born? This is a book where we will explore the question and answer in the affirmative, was Jesus Christ actually born on December 25th? Believe it or not, friends, astronomical, philosophical, traditional, historical, and scriptural evidence all indicate he really was, and you actually are celebrating his birthday every December 25th. If that sort of thing interests you, please do be on the lookout for that. We're currently in the editing stage of this book, and if the Lord wills and tarries, we will be getting it out by the summer of this year. I know it's a little bit early, obviously it'd be better to launch it around Christmas, but I've just been working on it for a long time, and I really want to get it out here. Thank you, friends, again for watching this video. We greatly appreciate all the support you guys give us, and with that, back to the program. Yeah, and to be fair, that one is, like I said, more just kind of for fun, but it does lead into my next sort of point here, which is, you know, we have various movements all across the world, right, of people wanting to preserve heritage, preserve tradition. In many ways, you could see it as admirable, but in many ways, of course, it can directly conflict with the gospel. In your estimation, how would that kind of thing work in India? Are you, for example, advocating that Indians abandon Indian culture, or do you think there are ways in which Indian culture can be Christianized?
I think we are still taking Indian culture a lot, Can you repeat again the question? I didn't get you.
Well, so basically, there are many in the world who would want to see their traditions preserved, their heritage preserved, things like that, right? But of course, in certain areas, it's one thing to preserve a Christian heritage, but in areas where Christianity is not common, the heritage you're preserving may very well be influenced by, for example, here, Hinduism. So my question really is, do you think the problem goes all the way down, basically, right? Is Indian culture so in need of change that it has to be kind of reformed at the root, or can the nation itself be kind of baptized, so to speak?
I think we have good tradition. I think some of the ways that we do in India is very good. We have family bonds, relative bonds. It's very good. Nowadays we are getting Western culture, like living by themselves. Usually we stay together. We have a good relationship. We want family bond, friends bonds. We stay together. We like it. You have some good what do you call some
like customs?
You have some customs that we want to respect the people. We want to honor them. India is one of the good country that give good hospitality where we go. So there are some good customs that we have. Good bond, good family, good customs, like taking care of the people who comes here. So we have some good customs. It's very good according to the culture. We want to keep it. Yeah.
And if I may kind of insert my own thought, part of the reason I asked that is because I think it is probably true, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but it seems to me it's probably true that people get scared of not just losing their religion, but losing their identity, right? And in a way, of course, you do. Christ says to die to self. But I could see that potentially being a challenge if they feel like, oh, you want me to stop being Indian in order to be Christian. But you're saying that's not necessary.
I think when you come to Christianity, it's very hard. When you became a Christian, there are a lot of secret Christians. Even though they are converted, they're saved through gospel, they heard somewhere. Even though they're Christians, they won't come to church. So they call us, we pray for them. If they have a husband, they'll call us. Because we have a family bond, it's very hard to leave our tradition and custom sometimes. Like, because I'm a Hindu born, I'm a Hindu nation. They say, they have a slogan, if you are Hindu born, and if you are converted to different country, different religion, you are changing your mother. So that is the slogan they use. So if you're born as a Hindu, die as a Hindu. That is one of the reasons they were scared to change the religion. But there are many Christians who are secret. They want to pray, they want to read the Bible, and they call us if you have any problem. They won't come out.
Yeah. So let's pivot a little bit to the state of the church internally in India. We mentioned a little bit about bringing some Hindu customs into the church. What is the overall state of doctrine generally? And is it basically, I guess what I'm getting at here is doctrine an emphasis in the Indian church? Is heresy a problem in the Indian church? And what do you guys have to do to combat that?
I think we have all the denominations in India, and mainly in the towns, we have problem with the doctrine. But when I work with mainly the countryside, we have more than doctrine, we have fight with the tradition. It's because they are not educated, it's hard to teach them because the place I'm working, I work with an illiterate, they cannot read, they cannot write. So they brought the forefather tradition. It's very hard to break the tradition. So that is the only reason, more than doctrine, we fight with the tradition in India, in the place where I'm living, where I'm staying, where I'm working.
Does that, I guess to an extent, any issues bother, but does that bother you at all that doctrine is understudied, or is it kind of just the nature of the beast?
It feels me very bad. Sometimes I want to cry because without doctrine, you don't know what you're teaching. So that is the reason. That is one of the reason. The vision we have. We want to train pastors. So when we start in 12 states. We are training pastors. No education. Who doesn't have education? They have like 2nd grade, 5th grade, and 10th grade. That is one of the vision God has given me. When in these 12 states, we take for every year we take 30 people, 30 pastors, who are maybe less than 10th grade. We take them, first we start with doctrine. We want to teach them doctrine, what is Bible, what is theology, what is theology, extrology. So we teach doctrines, we teach hermeneutics, and we teach Bible survey, each Bible, and we give with the translation, so that they won't go out of context. On each passage, we give some outline. So they can add some OCS, so they'll be in the test, and they won't preach out of the context. That's one of my intention before I die. I want to try as many I can train people. That's my intention. the doctrines.
So for the audience's sake, just to make sure you are catching that, ministers are incredibly important in India because you're fighting not only against culture, but a very doctrinally uneducated group, and just simply people who, you need people who are courageous enough to give the gospel despite the challenges that they face. So this vision of yours, right, is an incredibly, I think, important one for the Indian subcontinent. I want to ask a little bit here about charities and charitable activities, because you mentioned before the program a lot about some of the work that you and other Christians are trying to do in regards to orphans and widows and stuff like that. So first of all, before we get into what you're trying to do, why is that such a concern in India? What's going on there in terms of what, why widows need so much help and orphans need so much help and so on?
Because it's all come back to Hinduism, because it's your karma. So because of your karma, you are like that. So nobody wants to take care of you. Because in the previous life, you did like that, because of that reason you became now. So when that is the time when Christianity came forward to help the widows, to help the orphans, to help the poor. We started the schools, colleges, universities, hospitals. It all happened by Christianity. Because there's no one who can take care of them, because they roam on the streets. They don't have good food to eat because you're cursed, you're low cash, nobody wants to come to you, nobody wants to come and help you. So it's all on your name because your karma. So that's the reason God has helped us to step in and help the who are in need.
Now, to make sure I'm understanding that correctly, so it's this, when Westerners think of something being good, being a good person, a moral person, and that increasing your karma, it seems like paradoxically that does not include things like helping those of a lower caste or who are less fortunate. Is that right?
Many want to, it's like selfish nature. I want me only. I don't bother what happened to others. Mainly it's me. There are few people, I'm not talking everybody, but there are people who helps, but very rare, maybe like 1 or 2% or 100%, it's very less.
Now, in particular, you have mentioned that there is a issue with taking care of widows due to certain cultural practices. Is that right?
Yes.
And what are some of those cultural practices?
Yeah, in India, widow is when she became a widow, a lot of times she cannot remarry.
Okay.
And she's a bad luck. She's not invited for the marriages, any good functions. She cannot be called. And she's like, because of previous life, she became widow, and she's not good for anything. So a lot of times she's left alone. She lives alone sometimes. Now, Indian government is giving some money to the widows.
Okay.
A little bit money. That is the reason a lot of families want to keep the widows in their house. When they get the money, they won't give to the widow, they will use it. That is one thing that they're keeping. A lot of people, they want to stay in the house, but a lot of people will be left alone. So we have a lot of widows' homes in India where we take care of the widows.
And you mentioned there that they were kind of seen as like a bad luck charm almost, right? Does that level of shunning extend beyond simply social functions and stuff like that? Like, so for example, would children of a widow have more shunning in their personal life? Are they shunned from society entirely?
No, I think only for the widow it's a problem, but the kids it's okay.
Okay.
Widows, yeah. Even sometimes, the kids sometimes they're not called to some functions because our mother is a widow. That's the reason they won't call. So, I'll tell you one thing. I'm working in the countryside mainly. It's like a pathetic situation. When husband dies, I will tell you how it happens. When husband dies, so what they do is before they keep the body outside the house. So when they are taking they will take the body and they burn. Hindu culture, they burn the body. Take the burial ground, they burn the body. And after the body went to the burial ground, she has bangles. She has a bindu called dot on the head. So she has everything. So when he became a widow, they will come and break all the bangles and to take out the bindu and wear white sari. Previously they used to have white sari. When somebody is wearing white sari, that means she's a widow. Go away. Don't walk in front of her. Just go make a side and go away. Now they're making color sarees. They cannot wear any jewelry or anything previously. And like even till now, even my places where I'm working, still they cannot wear white saree, they cannot wear any jewelry, any bangles, any bindu. Like they're like adorned. When you see the widow, you don't want to go in front of them. Just go aside. You're going for good job, good work, a good job, anything good that you're going. If she comes in front of you, just take a side and go away. Don't go in front of her.
And how do they usually end up functioning in society after that? Apart from, of course, what the work you're doing, because I want to get to that later. But just generally speaking, how does a widow survive given these circumstances?
I think they have to work. They have to go for the job. Like they mostly in India, they work for the rice fields. You have a lot of rice fields. They work for rice fields. So sometimes they work in the houses like a servant. Some people hire them morning and evening. Some people they work. Some widows work like 3 or 4 houses to survive for themselves. So they have to work in their houses and some of the fields.
So then, given that set of circumstances, what is it that you're doing now, and other Christians like you are doing in terms of your support of widows?
So we'll take care of the widows, and we support them $30 a month. For some widows, they need money. For some widows, they need medicine. For some widows, they need groceries. So we buy the groceries, they need groceries. We go to the house and give to them. And some people, they cannot take care of by themselves. We take them and keep them in our widows' home, and we'll take care of them.
Okay. And these widows' homes, you said that they are pretty much uniquely a Christian practice,
Yes.
is that right?
Yeah. They have to pray and we have every devotion. They like it. Many people there will be some Hindus, and if they want to come, we'll take a paper document from their families. They're willing, they have to come to the house. They have to pray and they have to read. Only if they're willing, we'll take them. If not, we won't take them. Because if it's a Christian home, you want to be a Christian atmosphere in the home. That's the only thing. We don't want to abandon them, but we want to have a Christian atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, yeah.
Shalom, Saints. Did you actually know I do a series of sub-shows here on Un-Apologetics? Indeed, I do. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I have a couple of series within Un-Apologetics where we discuss things from compatibilism to the law of Moses to progressivism and soon-to-be free grace. If you'd like to check out these videos, links are going to be provided to playlists in the description down below. I have a Progressivism is Heresy series wherein I go through the different reasons why progressive Christianity cannot be compatible with the Bible. I have a Compatibilism is Biblical series wherein I go through the scriptural truth that mankind is free and God has foreordained whatsoever comes to pass, demonstrating this to be true through the scriptures. I have my Was Paul an Abrogationist series wherein we go through the Pauline letters as well as different areas of scripture to demonstrate that the law has not been abrogated for Christians, simply fulfilled. And coming up soon, Lord willing, we will be launching series regarding the young earth creation position in the Bible, the early date of the Exodus position in the Bible, fulfillment of prophecy through the Bible, which is the Bible's personal apologetic by the Bible, and much, much more. I'm also going to provide links to my debates in the description down below. For those of you who do not know, I have done 64 moderated debates, all of them online here on various channels like The Gospel Truth, Standing for Truth, and Modern Day Debate. If you would like to check out some of those debates, they range from Calvinism, Arminianism issues, to debating about free grace, to debating about Catholicism, to debating atheists on historical issues, and so much more. Please do consider checking that stuff out in the description down below. And with that, friends, back to the video. If a Hindu woman does not convert, but does end up going to the widows' homes, first of all, how does that work on your side as much as you can, of course, but also how does that work culturally? Do they get punished for that?
I think they won't be punished, but it's very hard for them to survive. It's very hard. Sometimes nobody will take care of them. So there are a lot of, when I talk to the widows, they feel like they're alone. There is no one to comfort them or talk to them, because even the kids, I'm not talking about a lot of kids, they want only their money from the money they get from government. They don't want them because of the reason they're keeping the widows. So they're like feel alone. We are no more. Nobody cares us. They're living what they died.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what about with orphans? What makes the orphan issue unique in India? And we'll pause a little bit before we get to how you guys end up dealing with that. But just what makes that a particular problem in India?
Because when you became a widow, you cannot take care of the babies. So it's hard for you to survive, and you have more babies. And sometimes both parents will die. There's no good government to take care of them. Mainly in India, even though we have a lot of millions of orphans, we don't have good orphan homes in India. Only Christians will take care of them. There are some Christian, Hindu, in some government, what do you call it, government hostels. But mainly it's all, we take care of them when they're widows and they're abroad on the streets. I have one organization that I work with, and when somebody is on the street, they will call they call him father, the Catholic. They call the father and say, there's a guy who's abroad, no parent, nobody's there. So there's no one to take care of them. Only we want to take care of them, and we feed them.
Okay.
You had mentioned before about a particular issue with baby girls, especially. Tell us a little bit about that.
In India, because a lot of poor women, they don't want to have baby girls because of because of the poorness. Husband is a drunken, she's a drunken, and even the baby, when they have baby girl, their main motto is they have to grow her up, and she became when you come to marriage time, she has to give dowry. The dowry system. So that is the only reason they want to abort the baby. They want. It's really hard to survive. Because when you see I'll tell one example. If you see in India, there are people who are sleeping on the streets, many women and men. And the rich kids will go and, a lot of kids will go and rape the girls who are on the streets and go away. Give some, the sleeping tablet, everybody is sleeping, take the baby somewhere else and rape her and go away. It happened many times when they sleep because they don't have a proper house. They don't know where they're living. So it's all like fear, how I can grow this baby. After he grows up, I'm very poor, I cannot survive. And then she has to get married. If she wants to get married, I have to give dowry. I don't have dowry, so what can't we do in the beginning?
So building off of that question here really quick, you mentioned the prevalence of abortions for female babies. Now, is that also something that you guys are seeking to combat, or how does a Christian minister go about trying to combat that even?
So we'll take care of the widows and orphans, like pregnant women, that not only abort, but the women who get pregnant, they don't have good food to eat, good nutritious food. When the baby is born, it's not healthy. So we give them 9 months, we take care of them, we give them good nutritious food. We give eggs, milk every day because they cannot buy it. It's very hard for them to buy. So for 9 months, we'll take care of them, even though it's a baby girl or a boy. We tell them not to abort. We are there for you. We'll take care of them. We'll take care of them. We are there for you, and don't worry. If anything comes, we are there for you. You come anytime. If you want to join your kids in our school, we'll take care of you. So don't abort anybody. We are there for you. In their health, even the kids.
And for the audience's sake, I just want to point out here really quick, Jesus does talk about, the Bible always talks about care for the widow, care for the orphan, for the foreigner. Jesus talks about, when you visited me in prison, when you gave me something to eat, you did this by virtue of you doing it to one of my little ones. And, of course, we are a religion that centers around faith, right? You could do all the good deeds you'd like, but if there's no faith there, then ultimately righteousness is as filthy rags. At the same time, though, we are commanded by Christ to give and to care, and I just think you guys are doing an excellent job of that. And I think it also opens the doorway for a lot of evangelizing and witnessing, because these people, I think they see that. I think they see Christ in the minister who's willing to do those things. So just wanted to note that and kind of thank you for that, because I think that's very important work. Let's ask a little bit more here about the orphans. So do you guys have orphanages and orphan houses and stuff like that as well, or? We
have 3 orphanages. It's not me, my friends are running. So we support them. We have different orphanages, 0 to 6, 7 to 12, and 13 to 18. So we have different 3 organizations. We take care of them, their needs, and we give them education, free education. We give them clothes, we give them boarding or lodging, we give them education. Sometimes they want to higher studies, we support them. And once they join our orphan home, till they get married, we'll take care of them in all their needs. Sometimes parents come, sometimes their parents won't come. Mainly we take only single parents or no parents. Single parents, sometimes they come, but mainly like fully orphans. Sometimes some kids will have one parent. Sometimes they want to come, sometimes they don't come. So if once they are joined in the orphan home, by legal, they have to be in the orphan home forever. And if they want to take the baby back, we want to make sure that he has enough money, enough safety, nice house that he can sustain by themselves, and they can give good education. Then only we can send them back. That's the way we make the legal laws.
Are there, other than widows and orphans, are there any other major charitable endeavors you guys focus on in India?
We have like floods, any floods happens, or during COVID, we did a lot of ministry in COVID. We have social crisis, anything happens, we go forward, we help who are in need, we take care of them. So we help the bikes with the pastors too. The pastors who are working in the jungle, yeah.
Now, one thing I wanted to note here as well is that I have been told that holidays are actually a good witnessing opportunity in India. How does that work exactly?
Mainly not holidays, Christmas time.
Okay.
Because Hindus have many gods, and they believe in all the gods. Jesus is one of the gods. When December comes, they think that it's like they want to go on Christmas as celebration of Christmas.
Okay.
So they come to church as one of the religion. Some Hindu, like they have different festivals. Each festival they go to different temple. So when the Christmas come, like 24th night at December 20th, they want to come to church and just have some dinner. We provide the lunch. So they think that it's a blessing. They sit there, hear from the preacher, then they take a lunch. They think it's a holy one. So they eat lunch, then they go back. So December, like we start from beginning. So we call every village, we go and call the people and share the gospel and share what is Christmas, real Christmas is. Why we should worship only God, because why is only one God. So that gives opportunity to share what Christianity is. Yeah.
And I imagine probably given the gift-giving tradition probably gives some opportunity for more
to share the gospel.
Charitable work as well. So we've covered here the doctrine, the nature of kind of what it means to be a minister, a lot about culture. Before we get to our final questions, I want to ask about one thing regarding Hinduism that I probably should have asked at the start, which is in Hindu religion, so I understand, there is a heavy emphasis on kind of trance-like states and what we kind of term in the West as the third eye and stuff like that, right? I think for many people that sort of manifestation of the supernatural is probably very foreign, given it's a very analytical kind of culture here. So what exactly does that mean? What does it entail? How do you end up seeing manifestations of what might be described supernatural or even demonic in Indian religion?
I think in India, supernatural means like demonic portion is too much because they have like witchcrafts and they do on people. And they think that with the soul they can handle the soul. Let's say, for example, to get a point, I take your small of your cloth or anything that belongs to you, or shirt or cloth or anything, and they say that they take to the house, they do some mantra like some mesmerizing from Hindu words, and they mesmerize and they take cloth. And when they come back, they want to feed you with that cloth, something like that. When they feed you, they believe that this person will do whatever I says. Since I fed you, I did some like witchcraft, and I fed you. I can do anything with you. You believe me. You trust me. Everybody says it's bad, but you cannot leave me. That kind of witchcraft happens, like a lot of blood sacrifices are there, a lot of animal sacrifices. Like sometimes there are few human sacrifices, because something is bad in the house.
Okay.
So your business you're losing, your family you're losing. So if you do some human sacrifice, you'll gain again. So that's like crooked, like very very bad. Like the worship. Some are good, but the way some people worship it, like it scares. And you see the situation like red powder and everything. Some places are good, but when you saw lemons and there are a lot of different things, it makes scary.
Yeah, and the witchcraft being one thing, but human sacrifice, I think that it's probably surprising to people to know that actually happens.
Yeah.
Is that common or?
It's not common, but
Not common.
yeah. But some people, some priests says that if you have like, many says human sacrifice is good, but they won't give their own babies. They give different babies. They steal the babies, other babies. They steal other babies and give the human sacrifice. Even last year, it happened in one of the states. Every month, somewhere it happens.
Okay. Does that create not just the sacrifice element, but the whole sorcery element there? Does that create a unique set of challenges in terms of witnessing?
It's very hard. You have to pray a lot. It works heavy in our lives. If you are not careful, it will attack you. As Paul, as David says, I know Paul and I know Jesus. Who are you? So they can speak. They are very powerful because if you have every 5 years you call Kumbh Mela. In the Kumbh Mela, there are people who are like they don't have any clothes. Many people live in the Himalayas, but like men and women, they won't wear clothes. It's very cold, but they live in the Himalayas without clothes for many years. So they come to Kumbh Mela and they say that if you take a dip in the Ganga river, you'll become holy. So when you go, these people, many people want to go with the clothes and they want to worship the naked guy. They'll be sitting there, there'll be no clothes, nothing. They'll be having some powder, the blue powder. The powder is, when they go to the Hindu, the people who die there, they burn the body. That body they apply to their body. They don't wear clothes. So the dead body's powder, the blue powder, they apply to the body. No clothes. They'll be sitting on the Kumbh Mela, and these people who are wearing dignified people go and worship them. They are fully demonized. It's very scary. Yeah.
There's a interesting.
They speak. They think. They smoke. They drink everything. They think that the more they speak, the more they become holy.
It is interesting. You know, I'm reminded of a quote from a Christian apologist from the 50s and 60s, C.S. Lewis, who talks about how for those who have an analytical mind, maybe it's best to convince people that demons don't exist. The inverse of that, of course, is that when people still do live in a culture where the supernatural is accepted, perhaps it's best for demons to just manifest themselves openly, and it sounds like that's the kind of thing that you have to deal with there. This has been excellent so far, and I think we're about ready to get towards the end of it. I want to ask one final question in terms of a message you might have to American Christians in terms of how we can help our Indian brothers, and just in terms of anything you'd like us to know in final thoughts.
Just pray for us. Just look around what is happening in other countries. God has blessed this country with many blessings. And you are faithful in supporting many missionaries throughout the world. And we want to thank you. And please keep praying for us for safety and protection. And once again, I want to thank you for supporting different ministries throughout the world. You mean a lot to us. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and thank you. And audience, thank you for your participation today in watching this video. I would like to build off of what Pastor said here in terms of, he mentioned how we have been blessed with many blessings. The Lord can do whatever it is that he wishes. So let's pray that India is also blessed with many blessings. Of course, we want India to experience prosperity, but more importantly, we would like them to experience the gospel. So pray for the gospel to reach individuals in India, regardless of what faith tradition they happen to be coming from. Again, this is 1/6 of the entire population of the world, over 1/6 of the entire population of the world. So it's not to say one soul is more valuable than the other, but there's 1 billion more people in India than there are in the United States. And so it is an area that is in desperate need of the gospel, if for no other reason than so many souls are at stake here. So be in prayer, be willing to give if you can. We'll have more information on that in a clip coming up right now. Shalom, Saints. Shalom, Saints. Well, what you've just heard was an interview between me and an Indian minister discussing many of the struggles Indian Christians are currently going through just to believe the gospel, just to share the gospel, just to spread the gospel truth with their fellow Indians. It's not a pretty picture, to be perfectly honest with you, and it's not something that we typically have a frame of reference for here in the United States, where religious persecution has just not been a thing really since this nation was founded initially. If you want to go back to 1776, that's fine. But I talk here about since 1788 when the Constitution was established. Now, I believe that we as a nation that has been blessed with many blessings have somewhat of a responsibility, somewhat of a obligation, if you will, to help our brothers and sisters over there in India. And that is part of the reason why I wanted to do this interview today. Look, I understand that a lot of people simply don't have the means. I understand that a lot of people simply don't have the funds. That's perfectly fine. If you're not able to give financially, then we ask that you please give in terms of your prayers. The righteous prayers of God's people avail much, to paraphrase the scripture. But if you are able to help Pastor out today to try and get the gospel spread in an area that, again, is 1/6 of the entire population of the world, well then, my friends, we have a GoFundMe that we have established in the description down below. Link also should be down right there, but you're not going to be able to click that one. Unfortunately, we can't just have you give directly to Pastor. As you guys could see during this interview, we had to modulate his voice. We had to make sure that he was not actually visible on the screen. We had to cut out numerous parts of the interview because the questions and answers just got a little bit too personal, and we don't want to give any personally identifiable information. Of course, we want to protect Pastor, and we want to protect his congregation as well as those that he might be witnessing to, those who we might be helping in terms of his charitable endeavors, and so on and so forth. But if you give down to that GoFundMe down there below, we here at the Synagogue team will be giving that money directly to Pastor over there in India. Now, it's important that you give to the GoFundMe down below. If you give to my Patreon or my PayPal or any of the stuff that you typically use to give to me, that is going to be funds that is designated for my use in my channel. So if you want to give to Pastor, please give to the GoFundMe down below. And again, if you're not able to give, please do be in prayer for Christians in India. This is a massive witnessing opportunity, and we have the opportunity, the ability, the means, and so on and so forth to make a very awesome, valuable difference over there in India. Will you please help us in bringing the gospel to India? Shalom, saints.